had my instructions earlier. USBA heavyweight title. Give me a good, hard, clean fight. Obey my commands. Protect yourself at all times. Good luck.
Main event time here on Hall of Fame weekend. Brandon Moore, Stanley Wright. Two American heavyweights, two massive competitors. Brandon Moore, 6'6", towering over Stanley Wright, as I mentioned. Nearly 600 pounds of heavyweight in the ring right now. A lot of power between these two. This one scheduled for 10. Brandon Moore working the jab here in the early going. Stanley Wright, not a super high output puncher, but what he does throw is dangerous, and it is dangerous early, as we saw against Jeremiah Milton.
Yeah. So far he's, he's cut the distance short like he said he would. Not throwing any punches so far, but once he lets him go, he's got, Moore's gonna feel him.
Just threw that right hand, and while he's known for the overhand right, that one was a straight one, and he can throw that punch straighter.
Stanley Wright really has been kind of DIYing his career, so to speak. A lot of 4-rounders on his record. Ooh, a nice chopping right hand there from Brandon Moore, but that will be ruled a slip. That sounded good, Al.
Yeah, there's something got in there, whether it's caused the knockdown or not. And Wright had a lot of knockouts against very poor competition until he faced Milton, where he won that fight. So we don't know if he's truly a knockout puncher or not.
Well, further to the point I was making, those 4-rounders, those are the fights that he's paying for, basically. He said, why are you fighting so many 4-rounders? Because I can afford them.
Yeah, exactly.
6 rounds cost more, but I can get them out of there early. It's all the same.
Exactly.
I like that Moore is, circling around him and using the jab and using his reach. Trying not to let him come in. He ties him up in the inside. He's doing the right thing. He don't need to get into a toe-to-toe match with Wright.
Oh, nice left hook there from Wright.
Yeah, this fight is going to, I think, boil down to counter punches by Moore as Wright is coming in, and whether Wright's big power punches will bother Moore.
Wright applying extreme foot pressure here.
Yeah. It is interesting. Even when he's not punching a lot, you can feel the pressure from him.
Yeah, he's not that tall, but he's wide, he's thick. He's a thick guy. I mean, he's 280 pounds.
And he's had time to prepare for this fight. He's been training, and when he's not doing his job as deputy sheriff, he's working hard.
Yeah, very different situation compared to the Milton fight, where he flew to that fight by himself, basically inherited a corner as he walks into a nice right hand there from Brandon Moore. A lot of tension in the air here. Two heavy hitters going at it in our main event. Round 2 underway. Brandon Moore taking on Stanley Wright. Moore has really only been boxing for 7 years total. 5 of them have been as a professional. Both these men are former collegiate athletes in different sports. Stanley Wright, a football player. Brandon Moore, we mentioned, starred at Southeastern University and Cardinal Stritch University, where he also graduated with an accounting and finance degree. Nice shot there, but back comes Stanley Wright.
Yeah, Morse is setting up that right hand with that touch and jab. He keeps touching and he keeps circling around him. He's not standing in front of Wright, and he don't need to.
Talked to Wright about jabbing his way in. He said, I want to do it. He said, I don't always do it, though. Sometimes I just walk in and I try and get to that spot. And he will switch a little bit to left-handed as well from time to time. He hasn't done it yet in this fight.
The edict from Stanley Wright's corner between rounds, just control your breathing. Obviously, a lot of excitement, a lot of emotions in the opening round. Stanley Wright, as we mentioned, been waiting for this kind of opportunity, that breakthrough win over Jeremiah Milton, but now finally gets a big fight with a full camp with his trainer in attendance.
Yeah, Michael Elger, to hear a former fighter himself, and works in law enforcement alongside him.
Tell you what, Wright is walking up to him, but he's not doing anything like to confuse him. You know, he's got to jab in, he's got to feint, he's got to give him a little bit of head movement. He's walking just straight in. Every time he walks straight in, Moore's going to time him with the jab and be able to land the right hand like he's doing it right now.
Good left hook there from Stanley Wright, a sneaky shot.
He is sneaky with that left hook.
Short, compact power of Stanley Wright, but boy, what a right hand there from Brandon Moore. Every shot that these men land looks dangerous, and it is.
And, you know, Raul's point is well taken. Not much nuance to what Stanley Wright does. You know, not much head movement. Just, as he said, not much feinting.
And at least jab in. You know,
yeah,
not even jabbing in.
Well, we talked about that.
Nice
now
floating
he's in
shot,
trouble.
and down goes Stanley Wright. Wright is all over the place right now. A dangerous situation for Stanley Wright, but he will be saved by the bell. Wright with seemingly a little assistance getting to his corner there. Wright dazed and breathing heavily as we take a look back at the knockdown.
Well, we talked about the countering because of the lack of defense coming in by Wright, and that was a perfect example of it. Moore has landed a couple of those right hands, but this sequence of them were the worst for Wright that Moore has landed, and those were beauties.
Wright goes down in a cocoon of his own trunks.
I'll tell you what, I didn't think he was getting up. I think he's still hurt. I think he's still not in the right place, Corey.
Yeah, as I mentioned, this is a dangerous situation here for Stanley Wright, who I don't feel has fully recovered. Referee taking a very close look at Stanley Wright as we are ready to kick off round 3. We'll see if Brandon Moore can close the show here. A big opportunity for O.J. Bam.
I'll tell you what, Brandon Moore, look, he's very smart. He's tying him up at the inside, get back on the outside. He measures with the jab. Watch that jab, watch that right hand.
And the problem is Fields only knows one way to fight, come forward, and so he's putting himself in harm's way, and he doesn't have the height and reach to fight a different way.
Yeah, Wright, he's there for that right hand of Moore.
So for Wright, it's a matter of can he land something that will do damage before it happens to him.
Right, which is precisely what he did against Jeremiah Milton.
Yes.
He lands something big early and makes Milton hesitant the rest of the fight. That hasn't happened yet.
No.
Delay in the proceedings, and we'll get back to action here. Any reprieve, no doubt a welcome one for Stanley Wright right now, as Moore just misses over the top with another home run right hand.
You're sitting here thinking one of those rights are going to get in.
Oh, so it's going to get in. It's going to get in. Yeah, Wright ain't doing nothing now. He continues to walk just straight at him without no face, no head movement. He's just trying to bulldoze him, but it's not working.
Yeah, it's going to take something from Wright that somehow lands and hurts Moore.
However, a cut has opened up, and not a good one.
It was
on the outside of the eye of Brandon Moore. Yeah, we do believe it was a headbutt. Blood cascading down the face of Brandon Moore right now.
Watch the overhand right. It's coming. I feel it. He's heading. Oh, there he goes. Oh.
And again, that knockdown, that is a horrifying cut also.
I think it's bothering Moore, the cut.
And nice quick left hook there from Stanley Wright, and probably aided by the fact that Moore, blinking, struggling to see right now.
This is Wright needs to take advantage of that.
Yeah, we're going to have to take a look at this cut, because from our vantage point, it is a nasty one.
Moore's mission is to get this fight into the fourth round, past the fourth round.
Exactly. And you saw him take a peek at the clock while he had the opportunity as well.
Then they would go to the scorecards if the cut stops the fight.
Final 30 seconds here of round 3. Moore using a little bit more movement. And that additional movement might serve to further exhaust Stanley Wright, but also to your point, Al, there's that secondary plan of, hey, get it past a certain point in the fourth, so this could be an official contest.
Exactly right. This is just a time game for Brandon Moore, because there's no way he would lose the decision if it goes to a decision. You point out, he's looking at the clock. He understands what's going on.
Nice body shot there from Moore, right hand. Right along the belt line of Stanley Wright, and they're going to have some work to do in the Brandon Moore corner.
All right, is that where the ref stops it? And I believe that's where he, it was a headbutt. I don't know if I saw the headbutt, but obviously the referee, we see a different. I think he was already cut there. There he goes.
There's the clash.
That was it. There's the clash of heads.
And actually, Wright's head was down low, but Moore kind of bent down, and all of a sudden, as he came up, they hit heads.
Seconds out.
So round 4 underway. Kind of parallel storylines going on here as to whether Brandon Moore can hurt Stanley Wright once again, but also can he get through the round so that if this fight were to be stopped because of that cut, it would go to the scorecards.
Yeah, the strategic importance of getting through this round for Brandon Moore is big, and he has to he's got to just, from his standpoint, he has to play it safe enough so that cut doesn't get open worse, and get through this time. And of course, from Wright's standpoint, maybe he's thinking, I can make something happen while he's bothered by the cut.
They went right to use his jabs in the right. I mean, he's not jabbing it. He just continues to walk in and be there for the Moore jab and the straight right hand or overhand right. There it goes again.
Just missed with that shot. Raul, he is loading up with that right hand, but you look back at the knockdown, it was a quick combination that produced that.
Yeah, maybe he needs to speed it up and try not to just set up, just let it go fast and explosive. Don't worry about, maybe he's telegraphing a little bit, and that's why I feel Wright is able to
get underneath that shot.
Get underneath. Yeah, he's got to just let it go, be explosive with it. Get it fast and explosive. The punches you don't see it, that's what happened. That's when he got dropped.
Credit to the Moore corner. They have that cut seemingly under control.
That's actually pretty amazing.
Yeah. What they put on that cut. Stop the bleeding.
Watch out of there, guys. Work on your own.
Inside the final minute here of round 4.
Solid, it's a nice tip jab. You know what? I think Moore should turn that lead right hand into an uppercut. Turn it into an uppercut. Turn it to maybe straighten it up a little bit. But he's doing the right thing every time. Wright gets in the inside, he holds him and leans on him, and lets the referee separate him, gets back on the outside. He's doing the right thing.
And not allowing the compact Stanley Wright to bully him on the inside, just taking that opportunity away.
I mean, honestly, I think Moore feels that strength that Wright brings in the inside. I mean, he's a big dude, he's strong, but he's just not putting his combinations together. One shot at a time.
Final moments here of a round 4. And we will head back to the corners. Well, speaking of heavyweight action, earlier on tonight, we got another look at heavyweight prospect Bryce Taylor. Speaking of converted basketball players as well, tonight taking on Ed Fountain. Al, this was a fun slugfest while it lasted.
I'll tell you, it was amazing. Ed Fountain had taken some astonishing punishment, but then he came back to make it a brawl. And Taylor kept landing big shots like this one after he had an amazing body attack. And finally, Fountain, the referee stopped it. Ed Fountain's such a competitor, he still wanted to keep going, but Bryce Taylor, a good performance by him offensively for sure.
It's round 5 underway. The corner of Stanley Wright, shouting at him to use the overhand right. See if he can get that money punch going here. The pace slowing in this one as Brandon Moore will aid that cause with a straight right hand to the body of Stanley Wright. And now doing a little bit more of what you were talking about, Raul, just kind of picking up the hand speed a little bit, taking a little bit off of his shots, at least in the opening 30 seconds here.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Just let the combos flow. I wish he would have more room to do that, but because every time they get close together, there's a lot of leaning on each other, and they got to try to create that space. Both of them got to try to create that space to let their combinations go.
Brandon Moore thought that he wanted to just control the first 3 or 4 rounds of this fight, and he thought this would be the time where he'd be looking for the big knockout blow. But he reversed it by hurting Wright early, and now he's kind of a little bit in a boxing mode and kind of just trying to control things.
Wright missing over the top of the left hook. Good right hand there from Brandon Moore.
That was a clubbing right hand. I think Wright, he's there for that clubbing right hand. He's dropping his left hand. A lot of pushing and shoving there, a lot of wasted energy. Oh,
nice left hand there from Stanley Wright.
Very sneaky with those shots.
Yeah, Wright remains a dangerous guy because he's a big guy that can land. So
again, he just walks up to his opponent, and one single shot. He doesn't prepare those combinations. If you let more combinations go,
little tape has come loose on the glove of Brandon Moore. Pardon me, we are going to take another look at the cut.
Yeah.
And this one is going to be waved off. The doctor not liking what he sees right now. And that's a bad break for Stanley Wright, who was having a little bit of success in this round. And the pace slowing to one that he was competitive within.
Yeah,
this one will be waved off, and obviously with a knockdown in the bank.
One of the scorecards on the accidental blood produced earlier.
Yeah, it's got official word. Yeah, we will go to the scorecards.
And it's very unlikely Brandon Moore would not be the winner on the scorecards. Brandon Moore, you know, he was frustrated in the corner. He had that crazy fight with Lacey the last time out. Now here it's a cut. I think he just wants normalcy.
Yes, exactly.
It's one of his fights.
Yeah, Brandon Moore just wants to box.
Yeah, and you know, even though he was doing a good job and everything, you know, this creates a different kind of scenario, but one that is likely to provide him with a victory.
So a disappointing conclusion here, although as you just said, Al, hopefully if you're Brandon Moore, one that will go your way on the scorecards, and it would take some truly bizarre judging for it to go another direction.
It would be a little surprising, that's for sure.
Well, it's on the lid. It's going to damage the mechanism.
Yeah, disappointment for Stanley Wright as well, as we mentioned. You know, all those years spent funding your own career, getting these 4-rounders in the bank. You get that breakthrough, then you get this fight, and it ends this way. Not exactly a satisfying conclusion for him.
And not quite the performance he wanted in any case. You know, it wasn't, he was down, he hung in there, so that part was good, but not where he wanted to be on this fight. And for Brandon Moore, showed us flashes of what he can do with his power and with his good hand speed.
It's a good cut. You don't feel the pain, that means it don't hurt you.
It's on the outside, which is safer. However, if it's including his
We await the scorecards here. You see the doctor pleading his case about why this fight was stopped. Again, that is a cut in a very bad spot, Raul. As you know, right on the eyelid.
Hey, listen, you know, he's probably, you know, stopping his vision from seeing it. And then, I mean, when you get, you know, the eyelid is a very soft, right in the eyes. I mean, you can almost tear the eyelid in half.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
Well, and again, you can always play the game of I've seen worse and they've continued. You know, you can look at a picture of Carmen Basilio from right up the road here on the onion farm in Canastota, of course.
Did you ever see me fight?
Oh, yeah. Nonetheless, you have to respect the decision of the doctor here tonight. Looking out for the welfare of Brandon Moore as we await the scorecards being tabulated.
Come on in, guys. We're going to a technical decision. Stand over here. Face that way.
And those scores are now in the hands of Chad Fishburne. Let's send it up to the center of the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to a cut from an accidental headbutt in round 3, we go to the judges' scorecards. The judges' scores are as follows. Eric Marlinski scores it 49-45, and judges Don Ackerman and Don Trella both score it 50-44. All for your winner by way of unanimous decision and still IBF USBA Heavyweight Champion Brandon
So Brandon Moore picks up the victory. Technical decision win for Moore. You heard the scores, 49-45 and then 50-44 twice for Brandon Moore. As we take a look back at how this one ended, obviously an unsatisfying end for Brandon Moore.
Yeah, it seemed like, you know, he's already cut up. You know, he's trying to move out of the line of fire, not stand in front of straight. You know, and then at the same time, he's trying to land the right hand again. But look, he's doing what he has to do, tie him up in the inside. Here comes Wright trying to cut the distance short trying to attack, but he's really not landing anything, really nothing. A lot of holding there.